Well, it's a beautiful day here in Nebraska this morning. Got the shop door open, airing the shop out a little bit. Sun shining. It's mid-50s outside, 53, 54 degrees. So it's warmer out there than it is in here, so the door is open. So let's talk about these forks, ranging from 1916 to 1918 models. PowerPlus. This here is a stock 16 fork, been restored, prepped, good shape, good condition. So what you see here, one of the defining features is this reinforcement right here. I think that started in 15, maybe 14. Before that, the fork tube just went straight up into the reinforcements. So that was to make it stronger. Otherwise, pretty simple design. So like I described before, it had this wedge arrangement. This one's broken. You can see the two little fingers are broken off of it. Two of the three fingers are broken off of it, but you can see how it works. It just, if you look close there, it's got a taper, an internal taper to it, right? And there's a wedge, a round cone, I guess you'd say, with a threaded hole in the middle. Bolt comes up from here, right? Tightens that cone into the fingers, expands them into the tube. So this would have gone in the tube this way. You tighten the wedges, and that's what holds it in place. The handlebar goes here. You got a clamp, to clamp the handlebars like that. So, probably the weak point of this design is that it only really clamps down here. Okay, so they do slip, or there's even a little movement to them. And it translates to kind of a wobble in the front end on these bikes, like I was explaining before. Okay, now this is a fairly unmolested but slightly bent 1917 fork here. Okay, so let's take this out of the way. Put the 16 next to the 17 and you can see the difference. The 17, quite a bit heavier, the same basic shape of the tubes if you line them up, but larger diameter here and larger here. Doesn't have or need that extra reinforcement because this is a heavier tube to start with. Still has the three ribs, but I think you can see that on the 17 they're larger and heavier. And then the big difference is, while the 16, these small tubes came together and they're brazed. This is a casting here. This is where the headlight mounts, and then there's a kind of a keyhole shaped piece that spans from here to here and holds that. Now on the 17 design, right, instead of the single tube with the front reinforcing tube, it had a triple clamp arrangement. So those front tubes, each one came up separately, and the fork tubes came up all the way to a triple clamp. So the triple clamp looks like this. This one's a high quality reproduction, and it goes on here like that. Now this, like I said, this fork is bent, so it won't go on all three because it doesn't line up. It lines up with these two but not that one or something. So there's some straightening that needs to be done there, but you can see how that would go on there once I finish straightening that. And then the handlebar clamps go on above that triple clamp slide on the same tube, and the handlebar clamps into there. Okay, so quite a bit more robust design, and more stable. It doesn't have that kind of slippage or rocking that the 16 has in the bicycle type design. Now this here was used in 1918 and 1919. Right, Cat? Yeah, okay. And very similar to the 17, except that it had a one-piece triple clamp, and I don't have one of those. I think I have a picture in the parts book I can splice in, but so it had a one-piece triple clamp that spanned from here to here. The tops of the side tubes are closed. These are internally threaded, and there's a bolt that goes in there. And the triple clamp was one piece, so the handlebar clamps, rather than being a separate piece, they're integral with the triple clamp. So a little simpler, a little more robust. Now, just to make things more interesting, this right here is the fork that I just took off of Patience, the 1916 Indian. However, if you look at it, if you look down on them, you can see that it looks more like the 17 fork than the 16 fork, which is over here. You can see that it's larger than the 16 fork, but it's very similar to the 17. So what happened here is that someone, apparently this isn't Patience's first crash, because her original fork would have looked like this, right? Would have had this Y arrangement here. And someone took a 17 fork like this, did away with the triple clamp, bent those front tubes together, heated and vented, used a 16 type casting for the Y where the headlight mount is. They chopped the main tubes off, and this is just filled with lead for looks. So they took a 17 fork, they made it into something that would work with 1916 handlebars and clamps. 16, 17, 18, 19. Things were changing in those years, getting better, getting heavier. And there you go. All right, that's it for today. I appreciate you watching. If you like these videos, please hit the like button and subscribe, and best of all, share it with your friends. Thank you.